Assalamu alaikum and good morning, my dear students. As a part of Govt directive, Gaibandha Govt Boys High School has made arrangement for holding online classes. I welcome you all to my online class. I am Rahman as teacher in English, Gaibandha Govt Boys High School. My identity. Today I am going to take a class on English second paper. The topic is adjective clause. My dear students, adjective clause. In my initial class, I discussed on noun clause and I also gave you the definition of what is meant by clause. So, I just want to repeat, a clause is a group of words having a subject and a finite verb acting as a part in a greater sentence. So, an adjective clause is also a part of a greater sentence, and adjective clause normally acts as an adjective in a sentence. You can see the definition here. You can see that an adjective clause is a type of dependent clause. Dependent clause means which depends on other part of sentence to express its meaning. Okay, it's a dependent clause that works as an adjective in a sentence. So, you can easily understand that an adjective clause is also as an adjective, and it tries to qualify a noun or a pronoun in a sentence being placed after the noun or pronoun. Okay? Let us see. Generally, an adjective sits before a noun or after a noun or a pronoun. So, what I have said here, an adjective can be placed or generally sits before a noun or after a noun or a pronoun. Position of adjective. If we just analyze the position of adjective, we will say adjective plus noun. He is a good boy. Here, good is an adjective word which has been placed before the noun word boy. Then the second position, adjective can be placed after an adverb word. As for example, he is very honest. Here, honest is the adjective word and very is the adverb word. So, adjective has been placed here after the adverb word very. Then the third position, linking verb plus adjective. After any linking verb, we can use adjective. He got tired. Here, got is a linking verb and tired is adjectival word. Then after noun or pronoun, noun or pronoun plus adjective. I found the dog dead. Here, adjective has been placed after the noun word dog. We found him senseless. Here, senseless is an adjective word which has been placed after the pronoun word him. So, we have already found here 4 types of positions of adjective in sentences. But an adjective clause always sits after a noun or a pronoun. Here, the noun or pronoun works as an antecedent. My dear students, antecedent. You know, antecedent is the words that generally sits before a relative pronoun or relative adverb and gives a relationship with the other parts of the sentence. You can see here antecedent. So, an antecedent is a noun or pronoun that I already said to you. An antecedent is a noun or pronoun that generally sits before a relative pronoun or relative adverb and refers to it. Okay? We can see it from an example. I know the boy who helped you. Here, the boy is the antecedent, because after this boy, after this antecedent, we have placed a relative pronoun who, and this relative pronoun connects this antecedent with the other parts of the sentence. So, an antecedent is a noun or pronoun that generally sits before a relative pronoun or relative adverb and refers to it. Okay? Adjective clause begin with a relative pronoun or relative adverb which generally sits after an antecedent. So, we will easily be able to determine an adjective clause if we just see an antecedent in a sentence. When a clause is placed after an antecedent, the clause would normally be an adjective clause. So, here the relative pronouns are that, who, whom, whose, which. The relative adverbs are when, where, why, how. Different types of adjective clauses. Adjective clause with relative pronoun as subject, adjective clause with relative pronoun as object, adjective clause with relative pronoun as possessives, adjective clause with relative pronoun as object of preposition, adjective clause with relative adverb, adjective clause with but as relative pronoun. My dear students, I have already told you that different type of adjective clauses can be found on the basis of the types of relative pronouns in its different forms. Namely, if a relative pronoun stays in subjective or nominative form, it can be different type of adjective clause. If the relative pronoun stays in objective form, then this type of adjective clause will be different from the first one. So, on the basis of the forms of relative pronouns, different types of adjective clause can be available. So, my dear students, let us try to deliver it or discuss these types of or kinds of pronoun, relative pronoun, this different type of adjective clauses in its full form. Okay, my dear students. Okay, my dear students, I have already showed you different type of adjective clause. Now I am going to discuss different type of forms of adjective clause. Adjective clause with relative pronoun as subject. When the relative pronoun will stay in its subjective or nominative form, namely who, what, which, that. If any relative pronoun stays in any of this form, and if it becomes the subject of the clause, then it will be adjective clause with relative pronoun as subject. Namely, the examples are here. I know the boy who came here yesterday. The man that helped you was honest. The boy who is punctual can shine in life. So, I have already written here 3 sentences. Here, I know the boy. Know the boy. The boy here is the antecedent, but the adjective clause is who came here yesterday, because here the who has been placed after the antecedent the boy. So, when a clause will be placed after an antecedent, the clause will be an adjective clause. Then adjective clause with relative pronoun as object. Here the objective form of the relative pronoun is whom, that. The boy whom you helped was honest. Do you know the man whom I helped? So, here we can see 2 sentences. In these sentences, the objective form of the relative pronoun has been used. So, here the adjective clause has been formed with the help of relative pronoun as object, that means in its objective form. So, this is adjective clause. These are the examples of adjective clause with relative pronoun as object. Now, adjective clause with relative pronoun as possessives. Whose, of which are the possessive form of relative pronoun. Whose, of which are the possessive form of relative pronoun. So, let us see the examples. I know the teacher whose performance is good. Whose performance is good. So, whose performance is good is totally an adjective clause, because this has been placed after the antecedent the teacher. Then the building the roof of which was repaired has recently been damaged. The building the roof of which was repaired has recently been damaged. So, from this 2 example, you can easily see the forms of adjective clause as possessives with relative pronoun as possessives. Now, adjective clause with relative pronoun as object of preposition. Do you know the boy of whom I told you? Do you know the boy of whom I told you? Whom I told you has been placed after the preposition of, and there is an antecedent the boy. So, whom is showing a relationship with the antecedent the boy. So, of whom I told you is an adjective clause. This is the book about which I told you. Here, which I told you is an adjective clause because this has been placed after the preposition word about, and there is an antecedent the book. So, which is the relative pronoun and this is showing a relationship with the antecedent the book. So, which I told you is an adjective clause. Then adjective clause with relative adverb. So, relative adverbs are when, where, why, how. These are the forms of relative pronoun. So, you know relative pronoun and you know generally the difference between a relative pronoun and conjunctive, relative adverb and conjunctive adverb. When there will be an antecedent before these adverbs, namely I know the time when he will come, I know the time, I know or tell me the time when he will come. Here when is the relative adverb, but if I just say I know when he will come, if I just say I know when he will come, here when is just a conjunctive adverb, but here as there is an antecedent before when, so here is the relative adverb. So, when adjective clause will be formed with the help of relative adverb, namely when, where, why, how, there will be an antecedent before this adverbial. As for example, this is the place where I worked, this is the place where I worked. So, where I worked is an adjective clause which is started with the help of relative adverb where. Then tell me the term when he will come. So, these are the examples of adjective clause with relative adverb. Now, another type of adjective clause which is generally started with but as relative pronoun. As for example, there is no mother but loves her child. Many of you may think that but is a conjunction. In most cases, but generally works as a conjunction, but in this sentence, but is showing the very function, but is showing the very function of a relative pronoun. So, there is no other but loves her child. Here in this sentence, but loves her child is an adjective clause. So, my dear students, I have already tried to show you different type of adjective clause. So, try to practice this at home. Okay, my dear students, I have already showed you different type of adjective clause. Now, I am going to give you a home task. Let us see. Homework. Find out different types of adjective clauses in the following sentences. I have given you 14 sentences. What you will have to do? You will have to try to trace out different type of adjective clauses from these sentences. So, while you will be staying at home, you will be trying to solve these problems. So, try to stay safe, maintain social distancing, wear masks while out of home, wash your hands or use sanitizer. Thank you.